Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world, one filing at a time. Today we are diving into Chemomab Therapeutics' latest 20F report, which sounds like some kind of sci-fi drug trial. Spoiler alert, it kind of is. It involves experimental drugs, financial hurdles, and, as always, a few risks. Now let's get into the major news from Chemomab. Concerning their main drug candidate, the report focuses heavily on CM101, their main drug and its clinical trials, especially a phase 2 trial for primary sclerosing cholangitis, or PSC, a rare liver disease. Think of it as a key step towards potentially getting this drug approved. Since these trials cost a lot, Chemomab mentions needing more cash, and there's always a risk they might not get it, and that can affect further plans. A major item of concern, the report mentions the possibility of bad side effects that could prevent or delay regulatory approval. It's a constant balancing act for these companies. The company has something called orphan drug designation for a few of their drugs, including nebokitug, in connection with 3 indications. This is for rare diseases and it gives them some perks, but it's not a guarantee of success. As they grow, the number of employees is projected to increase, which adds pressure to manage things well. A key area for Chemomab with their location in Israel, this brings the additional element of geopolitical risk. They incur expenses in other currencies, so any fluctuations can hurt their profits. There are grants with strings attached, meaning that Chemomab might have trouble selling their tech outside of Israel. Let's run through some of the bigger risks that Chemomab identifies. The risk of the development of any of their drugs taking longer than expected. Of course, there are other players in the same space. The company needs more money to operate and it may be hard to come by. If you own the stock, you might experience big swings. Lawsuits and any compensation awards might not be covered by insurance. The company will need to expand their organization. There are risks related to operating in Israel. Currency fluctuations can be harmful. Substantial competition may result in others discovering or commercializing products more successfully. Even if approved, the product may fail to achieve market acceptance. The company relies on third-party suppliers. There are risks related to operating internationally. Extensive health regulation may impact activities with approved products. The geopolitical and economic conditions in Israel may affect operations. The trading price of the stock is expected to continue to be volatile. Switching gears, let's talk about what the company actually does. They are designing treatments for inflammation and fibrosis. Not important, trivial. In an open-label extension trial, nebokitug continues to demonstrate activity. The drug has been designated the name nebokitug. The FDA and Chemomab agreed on a design for a single phase 3 study. Nebokitug has been observed to be well tolerated. If the company fails to achieve milestones, there may be serious consequences. The company has to compete with others that have greater financial resources. The company faces substantial competition. There are a variety of risks with operating internationally. There is a risk that they will have access to trade secrets. These factors can affect ability to retain on the Nasdaq capital market. Some risks could be posed to the financial conditions and results of the operations. The company does not expect to pay dividends. The agreement between the depositor can be amended without the consent of ADS holders. Since their start, Chemomab has had significant operating losses. There is an expectation of more losses in the future. Geopolitical events can also increase cybersecurity risk. Conditions in Israel may affect operations. Results may be harmed by currency fluctuations and inflation. Any return of investment will be limited to the value of the ADs. Alright, time to dive into what everyone really wants to know, the financials. Research and development expenses decreased by about $7 million. General and administrative expenses decreased by about $3.7 million. Financing income net decreased by approximately $444,000. Changing circumstances may cause the company to consume capital faster or slower than anticipated. As a result of the expected timeline, Chemomab will need to raise funds through public or private means. The company expects to incur increasing levels of operating losses. We're done looking into the report, let's draw some conclusions. Chemomab presents a fascinating but high-risk proposition. They're focused on novel treatments for difficult diseases, but a lot hinges on their lead drug. It is possible for them to obtain FDA approval for nebokitug. On the other hand, their reliance on external funding and the inherent risks in drug development make it tough to predict their long-term success. There are clearly some good points with good alignment with the FDA on their planned phase 3 trial. There are also notable economic issues. There is uncertainty about their ability to continue as a going concern. For investors, this situation demands careful consideration and balancing the potential upside with the substantial risks involved. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate decoder videos.